Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Red Alert. Now, just like Blue Streak, which I've also reviewed, this guy is a Walgreens exclusive. And well, compared to Earthrise, Kingdom thankfully doesn't have nearly as many exclusives as that toy line did. So that's definitely a plus. Now, taking a look at the packaging for this guy, of course, it's just the standard Kingdom packaging. We've all seen this before. So here we have red in both robot and car mode. Got the name in both English and the Cybertronian lettering, which I still think is really cool. This side we got the Kingdom artwork. The back of the box, we got him in both modes. And it's still showing that light bar axe that the Siege version had. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And well, looking at the figure, this guy is pretty much an Earth mode retool of Siege Red Alert. So yeah, if you thought that Siege Sideswipe and Red Alert didn't resemble a Lamborghini enough, then well, here you go. Although Sideswipe is stuck in a 2-pack with Skywarp, well, the Beast War's second version of Skywarp, not the Decepticon. So unless you really like Beast Wars the second, or you're willing to sell that figure, or if you don't mind, well, either way, you're gonna be stuck with a second figure if you want to get Sideswipe. But well, this guy is just a retool of the Siege figure anyway. So having a look at the vehicle mode, it's definitely, well, it definitely resembles a Lamborghini Countach more. The hood resembles the vehicle way more. It actually says FD instead of showing Cybertronian lettering. We got all the familiar detailing that the car has. Well, that and a combat part. Got the familiar looking tail lights. The windshield is now just this section instead of the entire roof section. So yeah, and the underneath is still just the same as the Siege version. So yeah. Not really much to say. Although for weaponry, we have a gun, which is pretty much the same as the Siege version. So we can just plug that on the side. Although new for this version, we have this missile launcher, which can shoot, although, well, it's not spring-loaded, of course. So just plunk on this side. And if I can just get my bag of blast effects out. Of course, we just plug in some blast effects. Of course, I just have the ones that came with aimless. I don't know why the missile itself will be shooting a blast, but here you go. Yeah, on my copy, this is a bit uneven, and I can't really straighten that out that well. I don't know why. I think my Siege copy is the same, actually. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say for the car mode. If I just remove the weapons, because why would a Lamborghini even have weapons on the side anyway? Now for comparisons, here he is with the Siege original, so you can see how the original figure looked. And they're definitely quite different, because this is meant to be a Cybertronian vehicle. So yeah, like the windshields are definitely different, the hoods are shaped differently. The Siege version has this cool red lining that I really like. The taillights are a different shape. So yeah. Here he is with Sunstreaker, because I'm pretty sure they based car mode off of Sunstreaker. Well, this car mode design. You know what I mean. Because we do have all the similar detailing. For example, the windshield detailing here. The detailing here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they retooled that. Well, I'm pretty sure they retooled the Siege molds so Sideswipe can better resemble Sunstreaker, because, you know, they are meant to both be Lamborghinis. And finally, here he is with G1 Red Alert, or in this case, the commemorative reissue. And you can see, while not identical, they are pretty similar. I mean, for one, this guy's missing the red lining on the side. It's missing the fire department thing. Well, it's missing the fire chief decal on the side. It's missing the spoiler. So yeah, while not exact, it is pretty close to the original car mode. So yeah. And well, that's pretty much all I have to say about the car mode. So let's just get onto the transformation. So if I can just raise my camera. Alright, now, to get this guy transformed, well, it's pretty much just like how the Siege version transforms. So if you know how that version transforms, you know how this guy transforms. But, well, if you don't know how that guy transforms for whatever reason, let's start by just lifting up the size of the vehicle. Open up these flaps here. Just extending out the back. Then pushing these through. Well, these joints are way tighter than they are on my Siege Red Alert, so that's definitely a plus. Split the legs. Turn the waist around. Get the arms out the way. Spoil the articulation by making him T-pose. Push these sections in. Get the arms down. Lift this section up, and just before I do the finishing step, just a quick funny tidbit. Well, not tidbit. Just a quick fun fact. When I first got this guy, he was actually packaged like this, with the hood raised like this. I'm pretty sure that was actually from the factory, because the box didn't look resealed. So yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, I could have kept it in the box and made like millions from it far in the future, but come on, it's just a mistransformed figure. It's not like I don't know, it was like missing the head or something. Foreshadowing legacy. But well, final step is to just get this bit down, and for whatever reason I can't get this to tab better, and like the Siege version can, so well, here we have Red Alert in robot mode. And he's a lot more red than he was in the Siege version. We'll see during the comparison. But yeah. Like having a 360. You can see that unlike my Siege version, the knees actually stay in place. Like I can actually bend them and they don't come back. Also see that in the comparison. The head, Felly says, is the same component as the Siege version. Yeah, Felly says that's just the same component. Just looking at it off camera because there's not really any point comparing the two. Well, comparing the two heads, I mean, this is when my throat stops working. But yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the heads are pretty much the same components. So unfortunately, we don't get the spiky head that we saw during the Siege box art. Now, for giving him his weaponry, well, of course, we can just give him the gun. Or if you really want to, you can remove the siren. Try and plug this in. I think it only goes in one way. There we go. Then that just goes in like so. So he can have a siren gun. Well, not siren gun, siren axe. Or I could just be like some sort of a hammer. I don't know. I find it ridiculous on the Siege version, and I find it ridiculous here, so I don't do that. So I just keep this on the back. So I just put the gun in his hand. And with this, you do have some options. For example, you just put this in his hand like so. Suppose if you want, you could just have him hold this as like some sort of, I don't know, maybe like a red ice lolly. Those things that people use to guide airplanes. I know, I'm trying to be appropriate with this. Yeah, this is meant to go in here as the missile for this. So what this can do is, because this can actually slot right into here. Well, you have to sort of get the head in the way for it to slot in fully. And it becomes a shoulder cannon, just like the G1 figure. Now, Sideswipe had this in the Siege figure, but, well, why Red Alert didn't have this during Siege, I don't know. But yeah. Fortunately, this peg does sort of get in the way of the head. I think you can plug this onto the other end, so you can sort of swap it, but it does leave a bit of a gap there. There we go. Now for comparison, here he is with Sunstreaker. Now if I had Sideswipe, then this would be the perfect Lamborghini trio. Oh well. Here he is with Siege Red Alert, so you can see how the mold's been changed. And you can see that they changed the chest, of course. They actually removed a point where you can attach on a... Well, they removed the point where you can attach on a blast effect. Well, they did keep the one on the arm. Although, yeah, it's not really that effective. And that knee issue, well, it's not really a knee issue, the leg issue I was talking about. Well, you can see on my red alert, when I bend the knee, that doesn't really move. Whereas with the Kingdom version, it does. So yeah. I don't know, maybe it was my fault. Maybe I did something with the Siege figure that messed it up. I don't know. But yeah, and you can also see the Siege version is missing the shoulder cannon. And well, finally, here he is with the G1 figure. And you can sort of see where all that red came from. For example, the legs here are red because of the G1 figure. Why the forearms are red, though, I don't know. Honestly, I would have preferred if the forearms were still white and they gave the red coloring to the gun. I don't know, that's just me though. Now, for the blast effects compatibility, I already mentioned the guns. They removed a port on the chest, unfortunately, and this one on the shoulder doesn't really fit that well, unfortunately. Thankfully, the laser feet does continue, so that's a plus. And you can hear that it's just pounding with rain outside. So yeah, perks of being in Scotland, where I live. But well, ignoring the bad weather and just continuing with this review, let's just get on to the articulation. And we're going to remove the weapons because, well, this is going to get in the way of the head posability. And the articulation is pretty much like the Siege figure. So the head is on a ball joint, so he can look up. I know, maybe so he can look for any passing Decepticons. He can look around because he's all paranoid. The arms can, of course, move around. As shown during the transformation, he can't T-pose, which I love it when figures can do that. It's got the bicep rotation there. It's got elbows. The hands can move in because of the transformation. Got, well, it's not really a waist rotation, it's more a bit feathered down. That's an awkward sentence. Well, the legs can go forward, they can go back, this can swivel, it can come off the mushroom peg if you're not careful. Just put that back in. Got knees that can go about that far. He can do the splits, and the rain is getting worse, I think. Well, he can do this pose with an ankle pivot, which is really cool. So yeah, this guy is definitely quite poseable. And well, that's pretty much all I have to say about this guy. So, complaints. Well, I do like the vehicle mode, although I do wish they sort of retooled it to have some sort of spoiler. I don't know, even if it was just removable and became a weapon or something. Sure, it'd be parts forming, but it'd be weapons parts forming. I mean, Sunstreaker had, like, this part form a gun of some sort, so why not? Then again, Sunstreaker didn't have a spoiler either, so I don't know. But, well, an actual gripe is the fact that this peg can get in the way of the head. You can swap the position if you really want to, but I like to have this I like to have this on his right shoulder, so yeah. I do like the red shins. I think that the red forearms are a bit overkill. Like, I would have preferred if these were still a white color or even just a gray color and the gun was red, just to homage the G1 figure even further. I don't know, that's just me. But, well, do I recommend this figure? Well, that's actually hard to say, because I do like this figure, but with the Siege version, that's already a really nice figure. And plus, there are actually repo labels to make it look more like an Earth vehicle. Plus, there's upgrade kits to give it a spoiler. So I'd say, if you don't have Siege Red Alert, or if you don't have Siege Red Alert, or if you do have the figure, but you want a more Earth mode looking Red Alert, then go ahead. But if you have the Siege figure, but you have all the repo labels that make it look more like an Earth vehicle, then yeah, maybe not. This guy will be a bit redundant. Like, the reason I bought this figure was just because I just really liked how the vehicle mode looked. And, well, ironically, I'm going to be displaying him in the robot mode, but with the shoulder cannon, I think it's a worthy addition. But that's just my opinion. So yeah, if you don't have the Siege figure in your collection, then yeah, this guy isn't bad. But otherwise, yeah, it's up to you. Well, this has been my review on Kingdom Red Alert, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.